right, so she has me do the intro every time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that.
You have to.
You're listening to the Straight Crooked Podcast.
All right, today we have a very special guest. I'm so excited about this. The wonderful, talented Allie DiMeco.
Yay!
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. I'm so excited too. This is like a dream for me. She was a little bit older, missed the Naked Brothers band train.
Okay.
I was like the fangirl of it.
I feel like it's like a cult classic. Like you either knew it and loved it or you didn't know about it at all. So it's so funny.
Right. Yes, definitely.
I definitely knew of it. It was just a little bit after my time, I think.
Yeah. We're like into boys at that point.
Right. And I was just watching the Naked Brothers band.
I love it.
So I tried to do minimal Googling because I like to learn about people very organically from them. But I did
Cool.
see that you are from Connecticut, correct?
Yes.
Did you grow up there for most of your life, or was it just like a born there kind of thing?
I have an interesting start to life. So I was adopted at birth. And I came out early, really early, like 3 months early.
Oh, wow.
And so I think the plan was always for me to like hatch in Connecticut, but it ended up that I was born in Florida. My mom, who adopted me, got me there. And then, yeah, so pretty much born and raised, if you will, in Connecticut, but officially, I guess, born in Florida. But yeah, I would live there until I was 17.
Okay, cool. So when did you start getting into acting, and how did you become like part of the Naked Brothers band and everything?
Yeah, so that too is kind of interesting. It was a total accident. I started I started acting more or less at age 5.
Okay.
Completely on accident. My mom's really good friends from high school. Her daughter ended up, because Connecticut's so close to New York, ended up becoming like an agent in the 90s in New York. And my mom is a teacher and did not want me to be in the industry at all. But we would do like mother-daughter dates to the city and go to like Dylan's Candy Bar and like FAO Schwartz, and we would go say hi to her. And then one day we just happened to be in the city, and there was an audition for The King and I. And my mom didn't think I was going to get it, and I got it, and I loved it. And so I think that kind of started my kind of like pathway into acting at such a young age. We did Broadway and then did it for a few years and kind of came back, was a normal kid for a couple of years, and then just Naked Brothers Band happened to be like a low budget independent project film. And then just as luck would have it, yeah, it did a couple film festivals and Nickelodeon saw it. And so it's all kind of happened like by accident. But
That's
on
awesome.
purpose.
I had no
Thanks.
idea that it was independent at first. I thought it was kind of always a Nickelodeon thing. So that's really cool to learn.
Yeah, it was completely, and I think now as an adult, and I'm sure you guys have seen like so much has come out between like, you know, so many, I think, trauma stories that have
Yes.
happened on Disney and Nickelodeon. You know, while there's definitely some crazy things that happen, like I really can't resonate and identify with a lot of what those kids went through, thank God. Because we were such an externally made, I guess, show and film. And I think in the long run, while we maybe weren't as popular or didn't have as many seasons, it's because we didn't film and we were not on a regular like Nickelodeon film schedule. We were very like black sheep in terms of production. And I think in the end, it saved us all a lot. So it was kind of cool.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay. I think I was like 8 years old probably when the movie came out. And just being a naive 8-year-old, I didn't even realize it was like a movie. I thought it was an actual documentary at first. And it was very jarring as a kid to learn that it was all, scripted and everything.
Okay. So not it wasn't completely fake. So I think there were definitely some elements that were scripted, like Rosalina, for instance, myself. I think it was so hard to categorize Naked Brothers Band 2 for its time because it walked the line of like mockumentary and then actual documentary, because Nat and Alex were brothers. They were making this music. I think the elements around Nat and Alex were a little made up, like me, the band, the rest of the kids. But in terms of all the music and like pretty much the brothers, that was very much real. So Not all.
Okay.
Wasn't all fake.
Right. So I was curious about most of the characters, like you said, Nat and Alex are obviously really brothers, and a lot of them went by their real names. Was going by Rosalina like a choice you made? You didn't want to use your name, or was that like part of the script already?
No, actually, it was funny. I did not think that I was not cut out nor a good fit for the role originally of Rosalina. She was actually supposed to be Mexican, and it was supposed to be like they envisioned a small, like young Hispanic girl. And at the time, my direct competition was, oh my God, her name is escaping me. Raquel, God, what was her name? She played she was the kid in Jersey Girl with Ben Affleck. God, we can Google it.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know what her
Hold
name
on.
is, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Hold on. It's gonna be one of those things where I need Raquel Castro.
Okay.
She was like the it girl of that time, and they had her in mind. Essentially. What it came down to, my agent just needed someone to go on the audition, and they told me, like, you're not a good fit at all, but go. And great. What it really came down to was because it was organically musically oriented because of Nat and Alex. I think what put me up on the edge was I was musically inclined. I don't know what her audition was like, but I know that I went into the audition and sang like an old school jazz song, which resonated with Polly, and that's, I think, kind of was the deciding factor.
Okay, that's very cool. Did you
Yeah.
actually play all the instruments that Rosalina played on the show?
Yeah, no, not all of them at all. Not all of them. But I feel like it's maybe riding a bike. I don't actively play instruments
Right.
anymore. But I started with violin, and then I went to cello, and then I went to stand up or not stand up, electric bass. And then to guitar, and then rhythmically drums. Like I definitely can like pick up an instrument and play it, but was I like a prodigy as Rosalina was? No, definitely not.
Right. I actually started playing bass because of Rosalina. And like you
I
said,
love
I
it.
couldn't like not a prodigy by any means. And I don't think I even bought a bass guitar until I was in like high school. So many years later, but all the years in between, I was just like, this is so cool. I have to do this.
I love it. Do you still play?
I mean, I still have it. I haven't played it in a while. I would like to get back into
That's
it
awesome. Yeah, again, I'm like, I feel like it's like riding a bike. I've been living in apartments for so long, but like you have to be a courteous neighbor, and I haven't
Yeah.
Right.
picked one up. But dope. I love hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a whole thing for me. I would stand up like a broom in my living room as a mic stand. And
Yes.
sometimes I wouldn't even sing the actual lyrics of the song. I would do like the ad libs in the background that I would see Rosalina doing on the show.
Yes. The backup singers, the backup
Yes.
vocals. I love it.
I wanted to share a story with you because this is like the goofiest thing ever. Around that same time, it was in like the MySpace days. I'm young, I'm
Yes.
like computer illiterate. I was catfished by someone pretending to be you.
No. Wait, this is not the first time I've heard it, but God, I'm so
Really?
sorry. What
Yeah, I mean,
happened?
luckily it was nothing weird. It was just, the
Okay,
girl had
good.
your picture and your name. And when I would message her, she would message me back like we were friends. And then I was like, I don't like, how do you know this is real? She was posting videos of you that I guess you had posted to YouTube or something. And then it was a whole thing. And I was convinced, I was like, guys, I'm friends with her. Like we know each other.
Well, now you know. Now you could say it for real.
Right. And I think like one day, years later, I must have logged in and I saw that the profile had a brand new name and like different picture. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't even think at the time I realized I was getting catfished.
How funny. It's like someone married with kids, like a whole normal person.
I,
Who does this?
I would like to think it was just like another girl my age and not someone creepy on the internet.
Strange to me. I don't know
Yeah.
who does that. But yeah, no, it's not the first time. Apparently there was someone using my picture when like dating apps first came out.
Oh no.
And I've been on dating apps. I've never been on Tinder. And someone was like, "Oh my God, we matched on Tinder." I was like, "You definitely got catfished." But
Oh
so
my
weird when people
God.
use other people's pictures. I don't understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a very strange thing to be doing. So based off your TikTok comments alone, you seem to be a lot of people's bisexual awakening. How does it
What
feel to be like a
is this?
I'm guilty of commenting that on one of your videos.
I love it, but can you explain?
Well, okay, from my perspective, I got into Naked Brothers band and obviously it was like, Nat, oh my God, I have to have him. But when his love interest was Rosalina, I wasn't jealous. I was like, I kind of want them to be together. Why? And then I was like, oh, I think it's because I love Rosalina. Like,
It blows my mind. And it's so crazy to me because I feel like girls either, well, a lot of girls hated me. Like
really?
we had beef. Girls really were like, I can't believe you're how horrible you are to Nat, or girls wanted to fight me a lot. Like my demographic back then, I think was like little boys.
Oh,
And
okay.
the girls kind of did not like me, wanted Nat to be. And now it's so crazy how so many women are like, I hated you and now I loved you. Or like, I don't know what, I don't know what that was.
It's
I wonder if
crazy.
like other girls at that time, and it's funny, I've thought about this and I'm like, I wonder if it's a lack of representation because you didn't really see Asians like at all, and definitely not like mixed Asians. So I wonder if it was just because I looked so different than a lot of like other people, kids our age at that time.
Right.
Because I feel like other girls, like I just wonder if other like if other people have the like invoke this awakening in women. I don't know. I get this comment a lot, like a lot, a lot. I love it. I feel like that's such a compliment.
Yeah.
Like
I love that
it's like
you
a
embrace it
higher
too.
tier. I love it. It's like when a gay guy compliments a straight guy. Like it's like the
Right.
top tier compliment. I
Yes,
love it.
absolutely. No, I think it was awesome. It was for me, it was just you were just so cool and you were like the only girl amongst all these rambunctious boys and you like really held your own and I don't know. It was fun.
I appreciate it. I need insight on this phenomenon.
Yeah. Okay, so after Naked Brothers band, there was like a 10-year gap before we saw you again pop up on Temptation Island. Do you want to talk about maybe what was going on in that 10 years that we didn't see you?
Yeah, a lot of school, a lot of studying, a lot of real
Nice.
life. I think what was cool is that I got to see from a very young age that I love acting, I love, filming and all of that, but I kind of got to like experience it from a young age. And I think so many times, like, people are never satisfied and like we always want more. And like for me, it just, it was a check. It was a box that I checked and it was a huge accomplishment in my life. And like I felt really satisfied with it. Like it was overall a positive experience. Again, like I feel like a lot of the prior Nickelodeon and Disney kids, they stayed with it and they kept going. And it's like they maybe were chasing a positive experience. And it's like, I had a positive experience. And now, like, I'm not the type, I'm always seeking my next adventure. And I think it also came, I was 17 and it came to a point when school has always been my thing. So, like, again, mentioning that we weren't on a normal schedule filming, we all stayed in school. So we were not
Oh,
homeschooled like everybody else. We would film from May to October, more or less. And then we would just all go back to our normal lives. And I think it's really cool. And it speaks to why none of the Naked Brothers band have had like a scandal, or like none of us
right.
have, really like had serious issues. We all have issues, but serious, mishaps. And I think it's just because all of our parents and production, so Holly Draper and Michael Wolf, they're like the main executive producers, directors. That's Nat and Alex's mom.
Mhm.
So there's a level to it, I think, where to protect the kids was very much there. And so we lived normal lives. So for me, like, I was on the cheerleading team, like I was very much in high school. And so after filming, I went back to high school. So naturally, I literally felt like Hannah Montana. Like I'm living this double life, And so when you click into what happens after high school, it's college. And
Right.
that was something that my mom wanted to do, I wanted to do. And again, like I had a great experience on Nickelodeon. I got offered a couple what ifs. Well, what if you moved to, so it was interesting at the time. I got a pretty much, I almost booked it, but It was Sunny with a Chance, which ended up being
Oh,
the Demi Lovato show. At the time that I auditioned for it, it also was with the Jonas Brothers. So it was like Demi Lovato on Sunny with a Chance, the Jonas Brothers, and it was like this whole thing. And I couldn't do it because of contract. I technically was still in contract.
Oh.
And at that point I was just like, okay, well then I don't really know what comes next. And you learn quickly that when your contract's up, like you don't really know what happens or comes next. And so for me, I just really wanted to go to college. And I just figured like if it's meant to be, and like, you know, if I fell into acting by accident once, if that's something that's meant to be, then it's meant to be. Yeah. And I worked really, you know, I went to college, I worked at Cheesecake Factory, like I had a normal life. Went through heartbreak, like, you know, had my moments, went to the club, like I had a normal life, which is something that, you know, I didn't drink in high school, nor like everyone does. You know, I was like a really good kid. I went to college like a super virgin, like, you know, never drank, never smoked, never like stepped out of line, never broke curfew, like never had any of those experiences. And so I went from Connecticut to Miami. And, you know, it's funny too, I had a really hard time getting a fake ID. And so I didn't. But drinking, I've never been a huge drinker, but like it was just the social experience of like not feeling like I live in a fishbowl, and not feeling like, you know, on Nickelodeon, I couldn't dye my hair without approval. It was
right.
just I could do whatever I want. And so that was really nice. And I went to college. I did undergrad and a master's, so that also took up a lot of time. I got really involved in working in the higher education, and I lived a really normal life for a good amount of time. And then I got the call for Temptation Island literally like 3 days before I was walking the stage for my
Wow.
master's. And I was working a 9 to 5 job, you know, in higher education, and like it was good, but I was ready again for like that next adventure, and like, okay, like now what's chapter 3? And so I did Temptation Island. That was a wild experience. Reality and regular filming are not the same at all. But it was a blast. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I had to take it. And then a lot of reality shows you don't get paid for. I've only done reality shows that you do get paid for a
Oh,
few
nice.
reasons. Temptation Island as a single did pay me. And it actually funded my relocation to LA. So right when I came back from Temptation Island, I took that money and I just shipped everything across country. I've always wanted to live in LA. And yeah, so that's pretty much why I took the gap. And then what happened? Why did I come up on Temptation Island? I came back from Temptation Island. I was like, cool, I'm never doing that ever again. Reality. And then like a week later, I got the call for MTV. And that's a different ball game because I grew up on MTV. I was obsessed with like Road Rules and Real World. And so it is my life goal to be on the challenge. TJ Lavin, I'm saying that out there. It's my life goal to be on the challenge. And so in order to be on the challenge, you have to do in their show. And so I said yes to X on the Beach, which I didn't know was X on the Beach at the time. And I did it. And now I'm saying I'm officially done. The only time I'll do reality again is if it's obviously the challenge call, which I'm losing hope for, but it's there.
Okay, we're putting the vibes out there for you for that
We're
one.
gonna manifest
It's
it.
gonna
Okay?
happen.
They need new people. Okay, the rookies are. They need new rookies, but yeah. So that's been the journey.
That's awesome. Okay,
Thanks.
cool. So with Temptation Island, you said you got a call to be on it. So did you have to like, did you submit an application or anything, or they found you and they wanted you to come on?
It was weird. They originally actually called me out for. At the time, I had just synced my new Instagram to Facebook. And I like synced it all, and so it was uploading everything. And I'm not really on Facebook at all. But I think a casting director, someone saw me for a different show, like a Facebook show or something. I
Okay.
think Facebook TV or something, I don't know, has like a Bachelor-esque type show.
Oh, okay.
And obviously I did zero research, but they were really interested in me and they flew me out to LA to audition, and I bombed it. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, "Are you the type to like hook up with people out of jealousy?" And I was like, "No." Like, cool. But someone in that group was casting for Temptation Island, so I literally flew home and then I flew back the next week, and then I got Temptation Island.
Okay, cool. I couldn't imagine being in a place with like all the big personalities together and like you're say, well, I don't know about on Temptation Island. Did you guys actually stay together?
So Temptation Island was very different than MTV. Basically, yeah, yes and no. The singles. So I was one of 12 single women. So we stayed in one mansion while with four boyfriends, and then 12 single guys stayed in a separate mansion with four girlfriends. And so
Okay.
we would sometimes come together, and I ended up actually dating my next boyfriend, not off the show, but he was a single, and we got together after the show, but we were very much apart from the singles. We only really intermingled with the boyfriends.
Okay.
Boring.
And I know that X on the Beach, I started the season that you were on. I haven't finished it yet, but that was a lot of big personality in one space. And
Girl.
I could not imagine just being in that. Like, I would like
Forget
to
everybody else.
know.
Forget everybody else. Talk about a gay awakening. I had my gay awakening on national TV
Right.
with everyone. No, that was a crazy experience. My poor exes. So to be fair, one of them that they flew in is not really my ex. They'll explain it. He was like, sorry, spoiler. He's someone trying to get out of the friend zone.
Okay.
But my other ex that did get brought in, funny enough, he's from Temptation Island. But the poor guys, they were flown out, and then nobody expected me to like Nicole. They're like, well, we can't bring her exes in. Now we're gonna ruin the storyline. And so those poor guys flew across the country and they stayed in the hotel room for like 2 weeks because they just
No.
couldn't. It wasn't a good
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I felt so bad because you can't leave the hotel room, like you're sequestered. And so it's like, wow, imagine flying across the world and not seeing any of it. Like,
Yeah.
That would be awful.
Well, how is that, by the way? Just being sequestered and not being able to talk to anybody.
that is the honestly, like I could get through anything. I had in a small way felt like I was in prison. And I know that that's probably a really like out of touch statement, but put it this way, like I was doing prison workouts. So like it's across all reality shows, it's the same process to the point where they use the same psychologist. And I saw him twice and I was like, oh, this is like a very by the book across all shows. So you go through rounds and rounds of interviews or castings. And then once you make it in, you take a 600 question personality test. And then after that, you go and you sit with a psychologist who goes through the test and your results and literally reads you for filth. He like knows you better than yourself. And that's how they choose you. So when you talk about big personalities, like everybody on the show is chosen very, very specifically and for a reason. And with that being said, I actually struggled to understand kind of why I was chosen for Temptation Island. MTV X on the Beach was a little bit more like bringing in people who had done previous things.
Mhm.
But Temptation Island, like, it's funny. There's a longer story behind it, but I got kicked off of Temptation Island by production, and it was hilarious. Okay, let's get into it. As I take off my bra, I'm like, let's keep. Long story short, when I say that I had no idea why I got chosen, I got kicked off by production. So basically, me and another girl who was on there, her name is Jeffrey. She was a little older too. We were like on the older side of the spectrum for contestants because they're looking for like 21 and 22-year-old girls. Which we looked good, but we like had our wits about us. And we would sit around because they're filming you all the time and talk about real things like women's suffrage and homelessness and like social injustice and racism and like real life problems, and they hated us because we were boring for reality TV standards.
Oh,
And
wow.
they would continually try to get us drunk or hook up. I didn't hook up with anyone, like boyfriend's not my type. And eventually we got kicked off by production. The guys were upset because we were just like a nice, like we weren't talking shit about the girlfriends. We weren't, like there for the cameras. Like I had just graduated. She's a flight attendant. Like we were just chilling in Hawaii. And long story short, we read through our contracts and we pretty much told production, like, you broke contract and we'll sue. And originally Temptation Island was supposed to be one giant mansion, but they realized that all the singles would go for each other. And so they ended up paying and losing the deposit on the mansion and doing the two separate houses. And they gave Jeffrey and I the keys to this mansion in Maui. And as singles were eliminated, we just brought them in because we had a friend in
Wow.
production. And when you get eliminated from a reality show, they book your flight right then and there. But knowing that, because she was a flight attendant, you have 24 hours to change it. So we had keys to a Maui mansion for 2 months and flights. So we just called and we said, hey, push those flights back, a month and a half essentially. And we stayed in Hawaii. I got tatted, my first tattoo. Hawaii was my 50th state. And so I was like, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna explore the island. And that's exactly what we did. And we got up to like 15 singles in the house that were unlucky, and we all stayed in Hawaii and we explored and we enjoyed it. And we coming off of the sequestering process, you get used to not having your phone and you get used to not going on Instagram and not scrolling. And that's why I'm like, oh, it's going to drive me crazy, because if I can't think of something, like just now I Googled Raquel Castro.
Right.
You can't do that in the house. You can't. So there, you get used to that life. And so I think it definitely shaped all of us as people. And like, you learn to live in the moment and live in the present. And like, thank God we saw Hawaii, because it's never going to look the same. And we made the most of it. And it was honestly the best part of reality. It was not reality, but what came of it. But yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
That's incredible. I mean, it's not great to get kicked off of something, but I think that could
Oh
have
my God, I love
ended
it. I wouldn't
way
have it any
better.
other way.
Oh my God. Yeah, that seemed like it ended very well. That is very cool that you got to do that.
It was very fun.
So ever since then, up until now, what have you been up to?
So since moving to LA, I've always been in hospitality. Have either one of you worked as like a server or like,
Yes.
where have you
Yes.
worked or what position?
So I actually worked at, well, it's the Marriott now, but I used to work for Westin
Nice.
Hotels.
Okay.
And so I was in spa there, which was rough in itself, but I've done
I commend
servers
you.
at like little sandwich shops and stuff like that. So
You get it. Like it's a different
Oh,
type
yeah.
of nature of the beast. But I did my master's with kind of a focus in nonprofit.
Oh.
I think being on Naked Brothers Band, and like we did a lot of work with nonprofits, like kids constantly for Make-A-Wish, or like different, we went to New Orleans and after Hurricane Katrina, and we rebuilt a school. Like we were very, very nonprofit oriented. And I think I learned from a young age, I really like people and like helping people. And so I moved to LA with the intention of kind of like working in nonprofit out here, especially with homelessness and being adopted. Like, I think it's my, or I don't think, I know it's my dream to work with kids in the system and with adopted and fostered kids. And that was my intention moving out to LA. You just realize that it's not a good combination when LA is so expensive to live in and nonprofit doesn't pay. But I've always also had a love for hospitality, and like I love the nature of that beast. I've been a server. I've been all like served through college, all positions, and then yeah, I fell into hospitality out here. I worked for Tao. I worked for a couple big like corporate giants, and I did restaurant openings and was a manager, and did really well. The last position I had, I was kind of curating and executing a restaurant that was kind of going in like the Soho House members direction, but not fully exclusive members. And so we were kind of finding and forging this like middle ground. And I found a love for it. And so I kind of been working in hospitality for a while. But I just made the switch to luxury events and catering, which I really
Oh.
love. Like kind of doing, I do a lot of weddings and like that kind of thing, which I love, like all of the details and the themes. Um, pardon me, but I actually on the side, I started my own little business. And so I consult restaurants that are opening. I have a new restaurant opening in Beverly Hills in the spring. And I pretty much curated and did all of their guest relations, everything client or guest facing. And so it's kind of like a little, like, you know, part-time consulting small business that it's like my little baby, and it's small, but yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to kind of like work for myself one day eventually. And so, yeah, taking the steps towards that, but pretty much that's it. That's all I got going
That's
on.
impressive. Yeah.
Props to you, and I mean both of you, for working in hospitality. I've always been such an introvert. I just, that's something I could not deal with. Actually, fun fact, I mean, she knows this, but I didn't speak to anyone in school besides the teachers until like third grade. Like I would whisper to them. I didn't want the kids to, I don't know why. I've always been like that. Um, I guess the closest I worked to hospitality was I worked in a jail for a while, booking in inmates.
Girl, that's probably hard. Wait, but you are actually so conversation, like you're so great. I would never know that you were so
Oh,
quiet for so long. So
thank
good
you.
job.
Thanks.
You worked in a jail.
I did,
You
yeah.
few steps, girl. What did you do there?
So I was always behind the glass. I didn't have like well, I guess it's face to face, but I was protected always because some of them can get rowdy. I would do booking them in, bailing them out, like doing all the paperwork.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was a lot of interaction with them, which is fun. You know, like there's some really good people that just have unfortunate situations, and then there's others that are a little bit more scary. And but I think
Whoa.
the family members were probably the hardest to deal with calling in. They're very demanding. It was like a whole thing. But yeah, my thing used to be phone calls. I didn't want to take phone calls. I didn't want to talk on the phone in front of people. And I had no choice but to do that when I was at the jail. So that kind of helped bring me out of my shell.
Oh God, the worst phone calls too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. It was crazy there, but I mean, it was fun. It was definitely very fast paced. So, but
Still customer service. Like I feel
yeah,
like everybody in some aspect, retail, you know, any aspect, phones, it's like a rite of passage. I feel like you learn so many people skills and patience and tolerance for
yeah,
others by working those positions.
definitely. Absolutely. So before we get into like the more fun questions, I have one
Yeah.
more for you. I know you said if it's like meant to come back to you, acting and everything. So does that mean we can expect to see you on our screens one day again, maybe?
God, who's to say? From your mouth to God's ears. Honestly, like, you know, again, like it's been really humbling living in LA. So here's where you're like, we're gonna switch to fun. I'm like, I'm gonna switch to therapy. So we, you know, and I say we is because I have so many friends out here who are, I feel like everyone here in some way or another is pursuing the business, right? And it's like we pursue this business, and what I've learned so much living in LA. Number one, again, like being happy with what you've already accomplished and earned. Like, you know, if it doesn't happen for me and I'm never on a TV screen again, like, wow, I had years of it when I grew up. So like it's shaped my perspective. Like I don't chase that dream anymore. And also I think there's a level to it where again, like telling you how I kind of fell into it. And then I fell into it. Like Nickelodeon Naked Brothers didn't start out on Nickelodeon. It was like a low budget independent film that, you know, it just I have chills thinking about it. I literally have chills now because it's just a lot of things in my life have just been such uncanny timing. Like one investor producer was at, the film festival and saw our thing and just had an idea and made a phone call, and someone picked up that phone call. Like it was never something that I actively pursued. And as I now am in my 30s and I'm an adult, and your mind, I feel like you experience shit and you become more thankful and grateful for things. And I realize that a lot of it has happened by accident. And I feel like for me to be like, yeah, I'm going to be on TV again, it totally discredits all of the people right next to me out here in LA who spend thousands of dollars, going to acting classes. I don't do acting classes. I've never done acting classes. I got free acting classes when I was on Nickelodeon because we had an acting coach there, and I got free music lessons because we had someone there. But like, I have not put in I don't do sides, and I don't practice scripts, and I don't practice monologues. Like, I don't practice instruments. I don't work at this business. I don't put any work towards it. Rightfully so. If it never happens for me, like, yeah, it makes sense because there's people out here who have dedicated their whole lives to it, and they still are waiting for that big break. And I think that's why a lot of times there's a lot of mental health things going on with actors, and it's a hard business. And I choose happiness. Like, I choose positivity and peace. And like, if I self-submit sometimes. I actually, I'll do it when I'm a good fit, and I'll do it when it's something I believe in. But am I out here like pounding the pavement? No, like, that doesn't pay my bills. My parents are getting older. My priorities as a woman have kind of shifted a little bit. It was great when I was a kid and I didn't have bills. I have a credit score. I'm not, but now, like, I have things that I very much, as a human and as an adult and as a daughter, have to worry about. My mom's, love you, mom, but you're getting older, and there's things that I need to, get these ducks in order now. And unfortunately, acting or influencing or modeling, whatever it is, it's not a consistent business. And when you're an adult and you more or less have your priorities in a right order, you realize that acting is it's a luxury, and it's a great career for a lot of people. I'm going to take a bold statement here and say it's the business now is designed in a very nepotism way. It's all about who you know and who your aunt is or who your mom is, or it's not, you could be so talented and perfect for the role, but if you remind someone of their annoying neighbor or their annoying ex-girlfriend, or if the casting director's babysitter just walked in, like, there's so many different factors now. It's not based on skill. It's not based on, because if it was based on skill and hard work, half of the people that I know would be continually on set. So I'm really happy with what I've accomplished. If it happens, it happens. If it does, I'm trying to get on the challenge, actually.
Right.
Girl, it's like a physical competition. Even that, I feel like there's politics in all of it. But yeah, if if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, like, I've grown into a place as a woman now where it's just like, what a cool experience. But it's not who I am.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. This past year, I just started getting into doing like background work. I don't know. I know that I desire something in the film industry. I don't think that being in front of the camera is for me. I've never actually tried acting before. But yeah, it's been interesting just seeing it from the perspective of being on set as one of the extras and kind of seeing how everything works. But yeah, I don't know.
But even still, like, you never know, like, oh, so many, who the woman from Friends, God, I can't think of anyone tonight.
Lisa Kudrow,
mm,
Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox, thank you.
Oh.
Mhm.
Her career started because she was an extra in a music video.
Really?
And I think it was a country music video. We can fact check this after, but her career started because she was an extra. And either the main person, or when they watched it back, they were like, who is that in the crowd? And it totally kicked off her career. It's like, again, like, it's all timing and who you meet and like just who, literally you could walk in 2 minutes later and miss an opportunity, or it's the business is so chummy in that sense.
Right.
You
Yeah.
you never know, but
It would be really cool to have something like that happen, but kind of like you said, I'm not considering myself like an actor or like anything really to do with the industry. It would just be fun to kind of dip into different things in that. But personal advice question, because you said you send in self-tape sometimes. Can you audition for things without an agent? Because I'm only familiar with
100%.
like background work.
I don't have an agent. That's another thing I learned about being out here is that God, and I would get so frustrated on the phone with my family because they're like, did you get an agent? Like, oh, you were on Nickelodeon, you should get an agent. I'm like, it's not that easy. Like, yeah, no one cares. No one cares about Nicki Brothers. It was ages ago. Like, it's what's hot right now, And so
Right.
I had a really hard time getting an agent. I also, fairly enough, did not put a reel together. Like Naked Brothers Band is too much shit. It's so much that I'm not gonna sit here and scream record hours of Naked Brothers. So it's just like there's so much that goes into it. You have to hire someone to make you a reel, and then you need headshots, and you need this, and it just I didn't put in the work. I don't have an agent. You very much can, and actually now the new thing is it's either backstage or LA casting or Actors Access. You just either could do the free version, or if you are taking it seriously, you could do the membership, the annual membership. But it's the same castings, it's the same things. I will say an agent, again, in that nepotism, like who aspect, an agent is like, think of an agent as like a brand label, right? It's like, I promise you, you and I can buy the same hoodie, but if this hoodie happened to say Balenciaga on it, it's going to be 1,000 times, more expensive. Just think of agents as like a brand. Like it's eye catching. It gets your foot in the door. But at the same time, it's interesting because I've had a lot of casting directors from, I think, like social media reach out to me again for reality. And then reality asks you, like, have you been on another reality show? And it's like, oh, I actually have. And now the industry trend is everybody's looking for the new it girl. So it actually counts me out that I've been on other things. Oh, we're looking for fresh faces.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so those it's just like, it's kind of, that's why some people don't want to see the same people and everything anymore. They're really looking for kind of like fresh faces. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you. That was very helpful,
Yes, of
actually.
course. Good luck.
I was under the impression, well, and honestly, if I'm being serious here, there's only a few shows that are like my favorite shows that I would want to try to get on for acting. Other than that, like, I don't know, I'll do
What would
production
they
or
be?
something. The
What
Righteous
can you see?
Gemstones.
Okay, I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
It
Is that
films,
like old timey? Like
it's
not
like
old timey,
present day.
medieval?
Oh
Oh.
no.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of the televangelist church families, but they're
Okay.
kind of corrupt. It's very,
Okay.
yeah.
I haven't
Your
seen
hair
it
is
either.
giving me Game of Thrones. You have
Oh,
such
thank you.
beautiful hair. I'm like, I want to see her like in braids
Thanks.
and then up with the feeler, like, and you'd be like a duchess. You
Oh,
give me queen
cool.
vibes.
I might have to try one of those hairstyles then.
Girl, yes. Like the Khaleesi. Yeah, your
I
hair is
haven't
beautiful.
seen that, but I know I know what you're talking about.
You could rock a medieval, like,
Thanks. Maybe I'll try something like that.
hell yeah. Okay, what other shows?
Mm, honestly, just anything with Danny McBride because he created that show and he's in it as
Love him.
well. And oh my God, I know anything that he's a part of, I would love to be a part of this.
I love that. Very cool.
Um, okay. This is not planned, just off the wall.
Yeah.
Dating. Are you dating? Are you single? What's going on
God, I
there?
knew this would come up. Let me take a second one. No, I'm not dating. I let me speak carefully here. The last 2 years, I have been kind of going through a crazy, really traumatic breakup, more or less. And when I say that, I mean I've been to court twice.
Oh, no.
We got into a restraining order. It was very I got my first real hand experience of really how bad and toxic I think relationships could be. And then also how the system, meaning like the like government, how the system is really not designed in favor for women at all. And for me to even just feel safe, like for me to even get any type of like help or safety, which actually never came through, it was a really eye-opening experience. And no, I'm not dating anyone. Like, girl, when I tell you, like, the phone is dry. Like, no, I actually this past year, or more than a year, but I'm completely celibate, like not hooking up with anyone, not seeing anyone, not dating. I'm not on apps. I'm not looking for anything at all. And it's been really nice. It's been really nice. I think people just so often rebound, and that's just not the way to go. And I just feel like people are not okay with being single. Like, why do you have to constantly be texting someone, entertaining someone? Like, I really don't need validation from anybody at all besides my mom and my friends. Like,
Right.
that's it. And the same respect, I hate when people say, like, oh, I don't care what people think. I don't care what people think. I very much care about what people think. I very much do, just certain people.
Mhm.
And no, dating has just been like literally the farthest thing from my mind. I think what helps a lot with that is I am such a girl's girl. I've lived in LA for going on 7 years. My very best friend doesn't even like encompass it, but my soul sister out here, Maria, her and I went to college together in Miami. And then we moved to Miami at different time, or we moved to LA at different times. She moved here like 4 years before me, but we stayed in touch, over distance. Like, that's my girl. And we met when we were 17, and we did life together through college and ups and downs. And she lives out here. And when I moved out here, her now husband, I knew him before she knew him. And so they're like my little slice of home. And so I moved out here, and Maria and I got it down together. And then I met a great girl named Jackie, and I brought her in. And then she met a girl and brought her in, and Eileen and Shanna, and then it's Emily. And so I have this group of 8 girls. We've been friends now for 6 years. We take the group very seriously. We're upping the ante at this point, we're celebrating Valentine's Day, Chickmas. Like, my friend was like, I'm gonna have to do the summer solstice. Like, we're running out of things. But I don't feel the need to date, and I actually am always the single friend. I don't know if you know the TikTok. There's like a TikTok of like me and my friend and Steve, and like
Mhm,
I
yeah.
I am the third wheel. But I think that it's just like when your heart is so full and when your time is so full of like the girlies and their husbands. They're all either engaged husbands, boyfriends, but like those are my people too. We have Thanksgiving together. And so I think it keeps me single, that I'm surrounded by such good people and
Mhm.
such good examples of healthy relationships. And I'm like, shit, I can't just bring anybody into this.
Yeah.
Like, he's not good enough to meet the family. And so it's really nice to be surrounded by them, by the girls and their relationships, because if they're not acting like Andy, if they're not acting like, Sid, then I don't want it. And so no, dating for me, I think I'm really different in that respect from other people my age or girls, because it's just like I do not care about dating at all. Like, at all,
Yeah.
at all.
We're the same.
Yeah. No, I
I love
love that you're on that journey.
Can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. And you know what's crazy too? It's something that I've been thinking about lately, but I don't think that MTV with Nicole was a one-off. Like, I don't date women. It's not something that I normally or had normally done at all. And I kind of like really liked Nicole. Again, my gay awakening. But I haven't really like experienced that since, or maybe I wasn't looking for it, but also I've been starting to think recently, because I'm so uninterested and unbothered in dating. I'm like, maybe that wasn't a one-off, and maybe there is maybe the gay awakening with you, it's me. Like, maybe I'm with the game. But yeah, it's something like I'm just so not interested in dating or sex or hooking up at all.
Yeah.
It's funny. I work with a company named Julie. They're an emergency contraceptive. I love them for so many reasons, but they're an emergency contraceptive that is made with better chemicals still for you, but it's accessible to women, it's affordable. And so they make it really easy. And I don't often work with brands, but I do work with them. And I go to their events and things. I've never used their products. I don't need to know. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of emergency contraceptive in my pocket. My poor uncle came to visit me, and he opened my cabinet. These stacks of Plan B.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, it's not what it looks like. I'm like, I was like, actually, I'm not using it so much. Racking up. But no, I just it's just not something that's like a priority at all.
I love that because I feel like you said, a lot of people don't know how to be single and they feel like they need someone. And especially after you go through a toxic situation, I think it helps you realize even more your family and your friends are like the most important thing. And just to me right now, the thought of having someone in my space when I wake up or like breathing on me, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
When I was going through the breakup, right? Like, there's always one thing, like, you go through so much and you still hang on, you still want to be that person. And then one thing happens, like the ick, but like one thing happens and you're like, oh, no, gotta go. This man, one time, we were just fighting about something. We had been broken up for months. We had been to court, okay? Like, I should have been done. No, and one time he was like, yeah, and you're not even fun to go out to dinner with. Like, you like girl dinners. Listen, bro, like, I don't need anybody on my line. Imagine a phone bill that you pay for. I pay for this phone, and you're bitching about me about my girl dinner because I like goldfish and a macaroon. Like, bro, can't be bothered. Like, can't be bothered. What's interesting too, though, is that going through that toxic breakup, and I talk about my friends and I love them so much, and I literally, they're my air. And during that toxic breakup, I very much was separated from them. It's like, shame, you don't tell people. Maria and I were hardly talking. And it was because you don't have enough capacity and bandwidth in you to be that good friend and that loving, reliable person and deal with toxicity. And it gets to a point when you're just like, I can't do both. And that's why I'm single and not even looking, because a lot of dating right now, I think with our age, comes with toxicity and that neediness. And like, I just don't have it in me, girl. And that's why I'm afraid of those dating women. I don't know, like, I don't know if you give me advice about it. I've heard that dating women moves very quickly and is a lot. I heard that the second date is a ring. That's what I heard, that they're moving in. I don't have that in me either.
Well, I hate that I don't have advice for you because I haven't actually dated a woman.
Okay, same.
But stereotypes like online, like, yeah, second date's a ring, they got the U-Haul and they're moving in. I'm like, that's intimidating too. But regardless, my issue, I feel like, I guess it's my own problems I need to work on. If I'm with someone, I don't know how to not make everything revolve around them. So like you said, like, I talk to my friends less and my family less. And I mean, it took a couple times for it to happen for me to realize, like, I'm missing out on so much for someone that is really not worth it,
And when they are worth it, they'll be a part of it, I feel like, or they'll share it with you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really lucky that I'm adopted, in the sense that I know women and they get to their 30s, right? And they like have this whole thing about like, oh, this biological clock. It's like, can't relate. Sorry, because I was adopted. I had an amazing relationship with my mom. In no way do I feel like our bond was hindered because she didn't carry me, or so many women can't have kids. I really hate when celebrities now are like, obviously because they're the ones talking about it openly and like shaping the public's, perception. But I hate when people think that like being infertile is a dead end, having kids.
Right.
Oh, I can't have kids. As a woman, I'm broken. Like, go adopt a kid.
Yeah.
Please. And so for me, I think the one thing is I really don't feel that I think maybe that's why dating too does take a back seat, is just like, I don't feel that biological clock is going to run out because I'm super open, if not mandatory, of adopting a kid.
Mhm.
My biological mom was also adopted, and I think that's a big thing of why I have not made contact or reached out to her yet, is because A, I had a great oh my god, have a great relationship with my mom. But two, my biological mom was also adopted. So for any reason why I would maybe reach out to her for like, hey, like what health diseases run in the family or this and that, or like she doesn't know any of that either. So it's like
Right.
kind of takes that away from it. And so, yeah, for me, especially with dating, like I don't feel the rush and the need because I'm super open to adopting. I know I will, hopefully with someone by my side. But if not, like my mom did it as a single mom, and I'm also open to that. So I think, yeah, that also shapes my like urgency when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
I don't need a man, like I really don't. Or
That's
a woman.
awesome.
I don't need anyone.
I really love that you're like that. It's like a breath of fresh air. I feel like so many people these days they're just all about getting married and having babies, and that's fine if that's your goal and your journey, but I personally can't relate to that.
Nothing today is traditional. So it's just like, why, when it comes to kids, like, obviously it's the goal. It is my goal to walk down the aisle before I get into the delivery room, of course. But what happens if I walk down the aisle and I can't have kids? I feel like people are like, he doesn't love me. He doesn't want me. Go adopt a kid. Like it's
Right.
super easy. If you want to be a mom, you want to be a mom, but at the same time, for me, it does have to be a right time. And so, yeah, I just, the career for me has to come first. I'm an only child too. And so I think getting older and realizing that like taking care of my parents and having no one to turn to and be like, hey, what do we do with mom? I think that's a big part of it. So my mom couldn't have kids, which is why she adopted me.
Mhm.
I would be like, hey, can I have a sibling? And she'd be like, I don't know what to tell you. Like you're on your own. And so I also think that I want a sibling. I wish I had a sibling. I think that also makes me a better friend now. It's like my friends are my sisters. Like those are my
Yeah.
sisters. That's it. I treat them like family, but at the same time, I don't want to have just one kid. I want to have two kids or five or as many as my bank account and financial status allows. And so I think that's also like when I do have kids, I want it to be a right time. I want a partner. I want financial stability because I don't want just one because I'm going through life as just one and it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a half brother, so it was kind of like having a sibling half the time. And I mean, it was incredible, but yeah, I don't know.
So we're both in the same situation. We were raised like only children. I have a half sister and she was
There you
almost
go.
18 when I was born. So it's like we're being raised as only children.
It is though, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there's that responsibility shift that puts more on your plate. And I'm sure like I feel like we're all the same age here, and like
Mhm.
my mom is particularly a little bit older. She's like in her 70s, and so it does have a responsibility shift though when you are kind of like that sole person that they go to. Like it's a lot of responsibility to
Mhm.
deal with on your own. Like so my biological father did have a kid from another marriage, not my biological mom, but I do have a half brother, and I think he has a child. I'm like a stalker, like I know about them. They don't know about but I think he has a daughter, and so I think I have like a half niece, which is really exciting to me. And I
Aw.
think one day I'll probably, it's like I don't want to reach out to the parents, but I want to know my half brother,
Right.
and his kids, because there's something about, maybe it's because I had the parents relationship, but I crave that sibling,
Mhm.
and I want to be someone's aunt one day, not by
Yeah.
marriage. Like I want to be an auntie.
Yeah.
So, but I feel that it's just growing up, man. It's like becoming an adult. It's just like different responsibilities you don't think about when you're younger. So
Mhm.
Definitely. Okay, I guess we'll get into some more of the fun kind of questions we
I
have
love
going
it. By the
on.
way, you're killing it as
Oh,
like first
thank
episode for
you.
guests. Like this is so fun. I feel like I'm hanging out with the girlies.
I love that. That's all I wanted.
Also, where is this gonna be? Where is this gonna be? I want to post, I want to promote. Like, let's get you more guests.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome. So
Yes.
we put it on YouTube,
Cool.
Spotify, Apple, Amazon, pretty much anywhere you can listen to
Cool.
podcasts.
Send me everything so I can like help
Oh, cool.
the
Thank
thing.
you. That'd be
Ah.
awesome.
Yeah, of course.
We're still kind of like kind of getting our footing with the whole podcasting thing. I think we've
Mhm.
done like 20 something episodes, but
Wow.
22,
Yeah.
yeah. But we
That's
we
awesome.
normally film through Zoom because we're about 4 hours away from each other. So yeah, we're just trying to
Oh
figure out
my
the
God.
formula to like
Wait, and
everything.
you're together right now. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I came down here.
Where are you guys? And where do you live?
So right now we're in Savannah, Georgia. She lives
Okay.
here.
Yep.
I live in
Okay.
Loganville, which is closer to Atlanta, probably like 40 minutes from Atlanta.
Oh my God. Tierney, she's one of the girls from MTV. She was on Are You the One? But she lives in Georgia. That is my girl. And
Really?
she literally just texted me 3 days ago and she was like, I came to visit you. Where's the uphold of the promise? I am supposed to go to Georgia to visit her. When I
Really?
do, I will have to let you guys know and we'll all have to
Yes.
meet up. I know it's a big state, but oh my God, yeah, Tierney and I actually were arch enemies on the show.
Oh no.
We got into a physical fight. It was horrible. We hated each other. The moment you get out of reality, it's just like that's the questioning process and like the whole bubble. Once it bursts, you're like, oh my God, I think I love you. Like, and we've been girls ever since. And that's my ride or die. Like we're trauma bonded. And yeah, I owe her a visit. So would love to. We'll have to do an episode. with you guys.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. We would love that.
We would make it happen
She's
for
Yeah.
sure.
hilarious. She's the only so far she's the only season of Are You the One that lost.
Oh
I don't love
no.
it. Every other season has found their mate and won the money, not her.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I'm not very up to date
Hilarious.
on dating shows. I will say I've seen 2 seasons of Love Island UK because I love the accents.
Girl, I dated a whole You Love Niall.
I saw his season. Yep.
Girl. So I'm not up on I watched Niall's gonna kill me for this. I watched a lot of Love Island. I did not see Niall's season. I did not know that Niall was famous for being autistic. I had no idea. No idea. When I met him, and I genuinely really had feelings, a lot of feelings for Niall. I knew he was weird. Like I knew that he was fucking weird, and I knew he was off, but he was giving me like Russell Brand, like
Yeah.
just so weird. So, like, and I'm like, oh, it's just weird UK, like the accent, and they have like funny banter. And I remember one time he was so nervous, and he's like, Allie, he was like, do you know he has OCD? He has to like walk in and out of a door frame like 10 times before. But weird quirks that made me love him. You know, I was
Right.
like, he's so fucking weird and I love it. And so he was like walking in and out of a door frame. He's like, do you know anything about like, anything? And I was like, no, not at all. I hear nothing you're saying to me. That English accent is just a spell.
Yes.
But yeah, no, he's totally autistic. And I just thought he was British. Totally fell for him. Niall and we tried to make it work, and it probably would have if we were in the same country. The long distance is hard, man. Like
Yeah.
even besties 4 hours away, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
super hard.
Definitely.
We're related, actually.
Oh yeah, we are.
Cool. Cousins?
Second cousins.
Yes.
No. Well, then you have to stay in touch. I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
to, but still. But no, it's hard. Long distance is hard.
It
Mhm.
is definitely. I couldn't imagine, especially across 2 separate countries.
Yeah.
And like it's crazy, like the UK, and I feel like people who especially Love Island, it's different. Like here in the US, we have so many options of reality shows and
Mhm.
shows and this and that. And streaming. If you do Love Island in the UK, you are famous. You're like a
Yeah.
Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like you're
Definitely.
very famous. And for me to date someone with like that kind of level of fame over there, being a country away, and then someone who like doesn't communicate shit well, it was just like not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love him. Yeah, not a good, but dating experience. for sure.
Yeah, it was when I started X on the Beach, it was a little bit exciting to see you guys kind of get together. Like I said, I didn't finish it, but I have an issue. I rewatch things over and over. I don't know why. So his
That issue is
season
very
and
common.
then yeah, this season right after, I just rewatched over and over, and then seeing like two worlds collide almost. That was pretty cool.
So funny. Yeah, I had God, Georgia, yeah, his ex was a whole thing. She's awful.
That's a big personality for sure.
Terrible.
Apparently they're doing like a Love Island All-Stars thing, and I think she's on it. I haven't.
I literally watched the preview and I got PTSD
Oh
from being,
no.
yeah, she's honestly like, keep this in or not, I don't care. She's honestly one of the worst people, not personally, just like watching her interact with the producers and like the PAs, like one of the meanest people, I think.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And like her and Niall's relationship was solely Love Island. Like,
Hmm.
Niall takes a certain type of like love and care and patience. And like, Georgia and I didn't have beef in that sense. It wasn't, her and Niall were not like a real relationship at all. But yeah, she was probably one of the meanest girls I've ever met.
I feel like I'm not surprised by that just based off of her on Love Island. So that checks out.
Super, super mean. I said it. I stand by it. Behind it.
I'm here for the tea. I love it. Okay, you wanna do some of these questions?
Yeah, wanna do
Okay.
some questions. Okay, so we're gonna ask you some funsies.
Okay, love it.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Ooh, if I really think back, I have to just go with the first thing on my mind. If you remember the Disney movie Brink,
Mm-hmm.
The skating one, right?
the hot guy with okay, he was in Brink, and then he was also, I think, in Princess Diaries 1. He was like the guy with the, I don't know, he had like long hair. I remember I had a huge crush on him. Hold on. The beauty of, what was it? Brink, Disney. Yep, I was totally into like the skater boy look. So
Okay.
oh my god, he's right here. He's so cute. Eric Von Denton.
Okay.
Eric Von Denton.
First celebrity crush for sure.
Nice. My first celebrity crush gives me the absolute ick now. I was like a literal child. It was Justin Timberlake. And I'm sorry, I'll say it. I
Yeah,
can't
you
stand
had
him
it out
now.
for Justin.
I don't have it out for him.
You-
He at one point was cool. So we'll give you, he at one point was cool and he
Right.
was hot, and I resonated too. I was a big
Mhm.
NSYNC and Backstreet Boy girl.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yep.
Who's your current celebrity crush?
Oof. Oof. Okay. His name can't be that crushing on him if I don't know him. He's in Divergent, and he was also just in James. Theo James.
I know who you're talking about.
Ah, God, I think he's beautiful. I also think that he's funny. Like, I think in White Lotus, I fell in love with him again because he was just like also very funny. Yeah, I think I love like tall, dark, handsome.
Okay,
It's kind of
nice.
my vibe right now.
Love
Yeah.
that. This is not sorry, just going off of what you just said. Has your taste changed from being younger to now? Because I've noticed mine
Oof.
is drastically different.
Yes, yeah, drastically, drastically. Like, I used to love the skater boy look,
Mhm.
you know, the long hair, and like now I love clean cut. Like, I love like
Okay.
the clean cut, no beard. Like, I love a baby. I'm looking at Theo though, and I like his stuff. But like, other than that, no, yeah, it's totally changed. I think I used to love like that skater boy look, and now I love that clean cut look for sure.
Nice. I feel like it's like a rite of passage, getting older and your taste has to
Well, like I was
change.
telling you, so I'm a therapist and I'm a social worker, by the way, but just
Cool.
psychologically, yeah, thank you. So psychologically though, our attraction towards people, it changes because we're looking for potential like mates
Right.
as we get older.
That
So
makes a lot of
that's why
sense.
you're into that's why you're into the more dad type
Clean cut.
now.
Yeah,
You're-
yeah.
I resonate with that. Like, I love a good, like, I don't need those abs. Like, I love, like,
Right. I went from like very tall and lanky, like Machine Gun Kelly, to
hmm
like Danny McBride, Jack Black type.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like, who do I want to like listen and deal with and talk to for the rest of my life?
Yeah, right.
You know what though? I've actually always, and it's still a thing, I always go for like the I don't need the loudest person in the room.
Yeah.
I kind of really like shy people.
hmm
And I like someone who like a little bit of mystery, who's not too forthcoming, who's not too in your face. That's something that I've liked my whole life and will probably always like.
That's awesome. I wonder if that's related to how you said you were always like the good girl, very into school and didn't do anything. Like, I wonder if there's a
Yeah, maybe
connection
I
there.
feel like I like people who are like not too like crazy or like
Right. Yeah.
loud. Like I love like very calm guys, like the quiet
Mhm.
ones, not on social media, like
Yeah.
calm and quiet. Yeah.
I feel like that's very important.
Yeah.
So
Same.
important.
I can appreciate that.
hmm
Yes. Oh my God. You tell me you don't have social media. I'm like, it's my husband.
Right.
Right.
But I feel like it's very rare these days.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. I agree. Um, so if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oof. Oof, if like my family and friends were not a factor, or if like I was so rich and had like a private jet that I could fly home to see them anytime, I would for sure live in New Zealand, like hands down. Yeah,
Nice.
my time living there in MTV, it just like the food is so clean and so pure, and I felt
Mm.
so good. The air is clean, like just everything is clean, clean, clean. People are nice, like it feels safe. It's just like, yeah, it's probably my favorite place in the world.
I love that. That's awesome. I definitely would like to go there one day and see what it's like.
Highly recommend. It's the adventure capital of the world. It's where bungee jumping was invented. And so they
Oh,
just like, yeah, they just have like extreme things everywhere. And everyone is just so like free spirited and lively and sweet. And I remember, so when you're in a show, they like stock and go grocery shopping for you. And they would especially like the meats, like bacon for instance,
Mhm.
we thought it was like turkey bacon because it was just completely like pink, and they're like, no, it's regular bacon, and we're like, what's wrong with it? And they're like, it's not processed and it's not full of fat, like it's genuine bacon. It was the best bacon I've ever had.
Mm.
It just, yeah, food tastes different there. The pizza was amazing there. Yeah, it's a cool spot for sure.
that's awesome. As far as the United States go, do you have a favorite state? No, that's kind of like a
Oh,
weird question.
it is, but I love this question. I've been to all 50.
Nice.
Um, I, for obvious reasons, love Hawaii.
Mhm.
It's very expensive though, and I also think it's very secluded and it's a lifestyle. And to be honest, I do need a little bit of city in my life. I really do love. Oof. No, I can't even say that anymore. I've been thinking about moving out of LA at the end of this year, early next year. So I can't really say that I love LA. I have loved living here. I haven't. So we used to film in New York, but as kids, and I haven't, and I loved it. Haven't lived in New York as an adult. I think like your experience living places as an adult is very different.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I really loved it's just different reasons, hard to say. I really love LA for a lot of reasons. But however, there's aspects of living in Connecticut that I love. Florida's been fun. So it just uh yeah, I don't know. There's honestly, it's the United States. There's a lot of pros and cons to like everywhere you go,
Right.
unfortunately. And it varies where you go.
Yeah, very true. Okay. Oh, do you listen to any podcasts? What are some of your favorite if you do? I know not everyone does.
Ooh, I do a little bit and I do and I don't also. It's not like I religiously keep up with them. I'm a big fan of Mel Robbins. More her than her husband, but I do love Mel Robbins. I'll throw her podcast on when I'm getting ready. I also love Call Her Daddy, which I hated it at first. I think I hated it when it was like the original Call Her
Right.
Daddy with just the two girls. I really like Alex Cooper and what she does now.
Mhm.
But even still, I'm not religious to that. I'm not a big like I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, to be honest.
Yeah, that's understandable. Which is, I mean, it's interesting that we decided to start one because I typically don't listen to a podcast unless I already know the person and like them. So I don't know.
But that'll do it. Yeah, like if I had someone or I knew someone that had a podcast, I'd
Mhm.
probably definitely listen to it.
Right. Yeah.
What's the next one? Oh, favorite TV shows.
Oof. Okay. So I kind of resonate with that like true crime detective
Yes.
era we were
Amazing.
going. So if you've ever seen The Blacklist, oh my God, yeah, The Blacklist has like a million seasons. It's about like America's most wanted, blacklisted like criminals.
Mhm.
I am not a rom-com drama, like I don't like any of that at all. And I'm not a crier. Like it almost pisses my mom off sometimes. Or like even work, like I very rarely cry. I'm very rarely emotional. I don't really like rom-com, romantic, drama, anything. So I am a big stand-up comedian person. I love watching stand-ups. I go to comedy shows all the time out here. That's like my favorite pastime. And so I'll either watch, yeah, I mean, I like The Blacklist. To be honest, like I love reality. Bet your ass I love reality. It's because I'm such a multitasker and like I'm such an anxious person that I need to be doing a lot of things at one time or like actively using my brain. And so I'll put on reality and I'll like clean my house or cook dinner
Yeah.
or work on a proposal or something. And so I like reality because I don't have to like give it a lot of thought and then I don't miss a lot. So yeah, that's kind of where I like.
Yeah, that's nice. We were just talking, I think last night about I don't mind like rom-coms and things like that, but I will actively avoid movies or TV shows that I know are gonna make me sad because I am a crier and I don't want to feel those emotions and have to cry over a TV show.
That's hilarious. I'm in the same respect. I'm like, am I supposed to like? It does nothing for me. I'm like, am I supposed to feel something? Like,
I feel like that would be kind of nice though. A nice change from what I'm used to.
I don't know. I don't know because like I wish I could like kick on a cute like movie with the girlies. Like, I also don't like rewatching things that I've seen.
Oh,
I
okay.
like, yeah, some people love like, oh my God, I've seen it a million times. Like, if I've seen it once, I think I have a crazy, unfortunately for my exes, crazy photographic and like just very good memory. So if I watch something once, I kind of like know what they're gonna say and know like I'll remember it. And so it's just not it's complete I see it as like a waste of time, which sounds so bad. I don't rewatch things.
I think that is absolutely incredible because it's become a real issue for me. Sometimes I don't want to start new things because I'm like, I just want to go watch the stuff that I know that I like.
That's hilarious. No, like my uncle loves watching old movies and I like can't don't
Yeah.
won't do it.
Okay, well, that being said, this year I've been on a journey to try to watch as many new movies as I can, and I'm like keeping a list and rating it however many stars. Do you have any movie recommendations for me?
Ooh, yes, I do. Okay, so I love like weird like psychological thrillers, and I love
Mhm.
things that like makes me think. I also don't love older movies in terms of like when I say older, like I don't love things that are made like 8 to 10 years ago. And the reason being is I feel like technology has changed so much. You could watch like 16 Candles or The Breakfast Club or something, and like you can kind of resonate it. They don't show a lot of technology. Whereas like if you watch Mean Girls and you're like, oh my God, it's a flip phone, like it kind of like is archaic for me.
Right.
So I don't often watch like older movies. However, there's a movie called Perfect Sense. It's a little older, but it's about a disease that comes on and it's like it's almost like COVID, where you lose your senses one at a time and you lose all of them forever. And so it's
Oh.
cool because it shows how society changes in response to it. And so people lose their sense of taste and smell, and then the restaurant industry and it's about a chef, like, and he's experienced it,
Oh,
and how the restaurant industry goes dark, and then but people still want those first dates and that experience, and so it picks back up again, and they curtail it to like, okay, now we're eating like very gooey foods or crunchy foods, or you don't taste anything, but it's now about texture, and then people lose their hearing, and then so it's a really cool movie. It makes you think about like losing your senses and also like valuing your senses and like being selective with the words you say, and like if I'm going to lose my sense of touch tomorrow, like what makes me feel good. Like it's a really good movie. Highly recommend. Also funny, maybe I like this actor, he's in both of these movies and I didn't realize it till now. Older movie, but it's called Big Fish, um
oh yeah.
with
Ewan
Jessica.
McGregor.
Yes, I love him.
Yeah.
He's in Perfect Sense. And I didn't realize it now, but I'm a huge Conor McGregor fan, apparently. Big Fish is one movie that I'll rewatch. It's so mystical, and with Jessica Lange, and just like it's such a mystical, thought-provoking movie. Highly recommend.
Nice. Okay. I'm gonna check both of those out and see how I feel
Yeah,
about
I
them.
recommend it.
What about books? Do you have any books that stick out to you or?
Yes. So I'm kind of I realized that I am a reader. I just have to read the right thing.
Mhm.
And so I guess they're like self-help or self-development. The art, I love people. And so the art of conversation or being witty or that kind of thing, I love. So there's a book I read called a couple times I read it. It's called The Art of Persuasion is great. Also How to Win Friends and Influence People. Amazing book, super easy read. But it's like it just teaches you how to like be the person who like shines in every conversation. And then there's another one called The Art of Witty Banter. Actually, those are I think one and the same, but it's called The Art of Witty Banter, and it's like when you're talking to someone, so I know you said you're uncomfortable on the phone, right? It's like when
Right.
someone's giving you like a one-ended conversation or dead-ended answers, like, or if you're at a party where you don't know anyone and you're in like a social circle and someone's talking about skiing and you're like, I literally have nothing to contribute to this conversation. Like, it's cool. I like conversation books about that. It teaches you like confidence as well. Like when you don't know anything about skiing, say it. Be like, actually, guys, like I know nothing about skiing. Like, what's your favorite? It teaches you ways to like navigate and still stay in control in a conversation when you don't have any intel or knowledge or power. And I think it's helped me a lot with people, especially in like the service industry. I've
Mhm.
always found myself to be like top server, top seller, top tipped. And I think it's just like I read all these books about like how to be funny or how to deal with rude people. And like I like books that are gonna help me in every day. And like you have no idea how hard people are to communicate with. And so just like, yeah, I love those books.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to check those out as well. Because I feel
For
like
sure.
I've pretty much got like one-on-one conversations down. It's when I am in like group settings.
Yeah.
I feel like
Same
I have,
here.
yeah, nothing to contribute because like what would I say when everyone else is talking? I'll just sit here and observe. So I could probably use those books.
It's a cool book, or I use as examples like cats. Like I'm not a cat person, I'm a dog person, but it's just like I think it also gives you the tools and confidence to like
Mhm.
you know what you're talking about, even if you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You know that you don't know anything, but you have a willingness to learn. Like it's cool. It shapes your perspective. Also, how could I forget? I think also the most impactful book that I've ever read that shaped my perspective of life in itself. I'm not too big of a religious person, and it's not a religious book. It's called Conversations with God, and it's like whoever your God is, or like when you stub your toe and you look up at the sky and you're like, why? You know what I mean? It's like whoever the hell you're talking to up there or the universe. That book itself, I feel like made me make a massive jump into womanhood mentally. Um, you realize that like it just shaped the way I see the world and the way I see people and situations. And I attribute a lot of like who I am today because of that book. And like feel like the biggest takeaway of it is just like things don't happen to punish you. We are all like what unites all of us, you, me, the people across in India believe in Hinduism, like whatever all of us like believe in, despite our, we are all here to figure out the soul's purpose. We're all just here on this earth to figure out why the hell I'm here. Like whether you
Right.
pray to Allah or I pray to God or you, it doesn't matter. We're all just really just trying to figure out and believe why we're here. And so that book teaches you that things don't happen to you to punish you or to like because you're a bad person. The only way to figure out who you are is to experience things and realize what you're not. I don't know who I am, but I know that I'm not that.
Yeah.
That's not for me. And so it's been really cool to go through life with that kind of like mindset when things really bad happen to me or like this horrible breakup or going to court twice and like no one having your back and just like wanting to give up and you're just like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm made for, but I know that I can't give up. And like, or I know that I'm meant to see through it. And so it's that book for me. If I could recommend any, is I would recommend that one for sure.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna have to check those out then. I love that. Do you wanna?
Yeah. What's the worst advice you've ever received?
Oh God, that's a great question. Hmm. Damn, you know what? That's a great question, and I don't know. And I feel like I've received a lot of bad advice in my
Yeah.
life, and I haven't hung on to it or I let it go.
Well,
Like
that's good.
That's really good. Yeah.
I didn't let it resonate because honestly, like I'm trying to like gut feeling. Mm, in sixth grade, somebody actually, I'll name her Jackie Prohut, told me that blue eyeshadow was in. And my mom to this day does not let me live it down. I tried to go to the sixth grade talent show as a spectator in the crowd, but I just wanted to go. And I had like thick blue shades on my eyes. And that's honestly the worst advice I could think about right now. I don't really like, unless I highly admire or respect the person or really like take their word to heart, I try not to let people like give me advice and like me shape my world to it unless it's like a reputable source, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
if
Yeah.
Dr. Oz was like, hey, like you should probably stop doing this, like okay.
Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah, if some random person or someone like a fleeting friend or like a random teacher in my life in fourth grade or whatever, like I don't, if you're not going to stay in my life, I'm probably not going to take your advice to heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
that's the
probably
way to
sucks.
do it. It
But
wasn't until asking that question that I was just trying to think of my own answer, and I was like, you're right.
yeah,
Like,
I
I
was like,
don't think
what
I
someone
have
tell
one.
you? What's the worst advice you've had?
I don't know that I could think
Yeah.
of anything
No.
because I
Yeah.
guess you don't realize that you're not holding on to it because you know it's bad.
Like now, bad ideas? Absolutely. But bad advice, like I often don't go seeking advice from people that would probably steer me in the wrong direction either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
You know, I'm not asking like homeless people, like, how do I fix my credit score? My credit score? Like, it's probably,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
So I guess that brings us to our next question, which I feel like you kind of touched on that already. But if you were to start a charity, what cause would it be for?
Yeah, I actually made like a prototype t-shirt back when AF, you know, when people would be like, oh, that's cool
Mhm.
AF
Mhm.
as fuck. But I wanted to I created a prototype t-shirt. It's in my closet still. But it's called loved AF, so like loved as fuck, but
Mhm.
really the AF stands for adopted fostered. And so I wanted to have different shirts. Oh my God, if anyone takes this idea, we're gonna time stamp this, but different shirts that say like chosen AF or desired AF or loved AF or like, you know,
Aw.
special AF. And so I wanted to create a clothing line that would benefit and proceeds would go to the American Children Foundation, which is all the kids in the foster care system, or like partnering with like local adoption and foster care shelters or women shelters. So that's kind of like would be my dream for sure. I like hospitality too because there's a level of, if you get your restaurant big enough, huge incentive of giving back to the community, and that's a lot of untapped money that could be funded properly to women's shelters or like adoption shelters. And so I think with my little business, it would be nice to get to a place one day where, okay, like I consult these restaurants and then we also work on the philanthropic or nonprofit proceeds of it, to eventually maybe start a foundation, where I work with these restaurants, and then that's where we get our nonprofit funding, because it's really hard these days for nonprofits to find any sort of like support.
That's awesome that you do all that.
Yeah, that's
I love
amazing.
that.
I'm not doing anything, but there are
Well,
ideas.
Ideas, great ideas.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
start.
all one foot in front of the other.
A little more lighter. Do you believe in astrology, and what's your sign?
Oh my God, I don't, but I'm starting to come around to it because I was, again, born a preemie. So I was born 3 months early. I should have been August 30th, which would have made me a Virgo. But instead, I came out as a Gemini, and I've been getting
Ooh.
shit on that my whole life. So I'm aware of astrology. I don't take it to heart at all. However, I'm starting to come into it a little bit more because, as bad as people say Geminis are, and I'm like, I'm not a Gemini, this and that. Actually, Geminis are versatile. So I'm very resonant with Gemini in the sense of like, I could go out and party all night. I could stay in and fall asleep by 12, 11, 12. Like I could go either way in terms of like, I have two personalities and I'm comfortable in each, but I'm not a big astrology person. What about you guys?
I wouldn't say that we're really big into it. I have a bad habit of basing my knowledge off of someone I know of that sign.
Okay.
So, but like, it's not the end all be all. I don't judge people forever based on that, but just initially I'm like, oh, you're this sign. This is my experience with it. I'm getting a little bit more into it. We talked about like the big three, the rising, moon, and sun sign. I don't know. Do you know
Okay.
yours?
I had a reading. My rising is Virgo, but my moon is Scorpion, and I don't know much about astrology, but I know Scorpions are horrible, so that was alarming.
I don't think I've had a good experience with one. So
Yeah, I had a bad
Scorpio is
experience.
like my biggest attractor. Most compatible, I guess.
Oh, great. Good for you. What does moon rising mean? Are those your tendencies? What does that
Look
mean?
this up.
yeah, we looked this up one time. Let me try to remember. So I want to say your rising is kind of like internally. No. I don't want to lie to you. Um,
I think your rising is your like external and how you portray yourself.
yeah,
in the
yeah,
world.
that is true because I'm a Pisces rising and I feel like I do relate to a lot of like Pisces traits that I read. Your moon is your internal, how you deal with things. And the sun, I don't remember what the sun sign was, just the
It's
general,
just regular.
just your regular.
My regular. Okay, cool.
I
All I know is
guess.
that moon is Scorpio, which makes sense because I have these inner like impulsive tendencies, but then I have to like calm it down.
Yeah. I have a Aries rising and I definitely have like that fiery, not like angry, but whatever. We'll just say
Spicy.
fiery side that lives,
Yeah.
spicy that lives inside of
Yeah.
me. So- But I'm a Libra sun and Libras and Geminis are supposed to be like get along very well.
There we go.
Always do. Like I feel like I'm drawn not even just romantically, but friendships to Geminis and Pisces, which
Interesting.
Pisces men, I think we actually had a whole segment about this on one of our podcasts. Not good.
Not a vibe.
Not for me anyway.
That's funny. I don't even know what my ex was. I didn't even ask. Probably a Scorpio. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should stop figuring out what people are first, because then maybe all the experiences wouldn't seem so related between each sign. Or maybe I just need to learn more about it.
Right.
Okay. Okay, this is a little on the spot. Can you give us a 5-song playlist? Either 5 that you're listening to now or like your all-time favorites.
Oh God, I'm such a weirdo and I love like offbeat. I don't listen to radio. I love like house and happy music. I listen to a lot of things all over, but I'm gravitate towards like house and happy like music. So off the rip right now, it's Living Our Lives by some DJ, but it's such a happy song. Hold on, let's see it right here. It is okay, I threw it back recently to I Spy by Kyle and Lil Yachty.
Oh yeah.
Um, I also threw it back recently to Girls Like You with Maroon 5 and Cardi B. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like a cute little song. Then I also I've been really into like ice cold plunges. Like it's called contrast therapy where I'll do like 20 minutes of hot yoga and a sauna and then I'll do like 10 minutes of deep meditation in an ice plunge. And so I kind of do like vibey music, so Gooey by Glass Animals.
Love that song.
Um
Nice.
Yeah.
Such a good song. So super light, just in the moment, eyes closed. Um, Justin Bieber, Forever a Fan. His one album is so underrated. This is a funny story, actually. I feel like we don't talk about positive experiences enough with exes, but I have an ex who is probably one of my better flexes. We didn't work out because we dated right at the tail end when I was moving to Florida to LA. But no big deal. He's the only athlete I've ever dated, but he was a Padres player. He's like my claim to fame.
Oh, nice.
But when we broke up, we stayed on really good terms, and he stopped playing for the Padres and became a baseball recruiter. And so I was going through a breakup at the time, and he noticed, and he was like, "Hey, I'm recruiting in Puerto Rico. Um, I'm gonna be busy like all day at games, but I got this hotel room and a suite. Why don't you come to Puerto Rico? I speak Spanish. I love the Hispanic culture. Like it's my kids are gonna speak Spanish no matter what. Like yo hablo español. Like I just it's una el idioma más importante. Like I speak Spanish all the time. And so I flew out to Puerto Rico and him and I in our bathing suits after being in the hot tub one day went back to the room. We're not hooking up or anything at this point, but for a guy, it was so funny, but he played Hold On by Justin Bieber. And it's such a good song. It's such a happy song. And him and I were like in this gorgeous like shower, just washing off the day, two exes. Like it was just a cute moment. And it's such a happy song. And like one of my songs I've been recently listening to. And then my all-time favorite song is Dark Blue by Eighth and Ocean.
Okay.
Old school, or no, sorry. Dark Blue is by Jax Mannequin.
I know what song you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, Dark Blue by Jax Mannequin and also Eighth and Ocean. God, Eighth and Ocean has a song. It's like those two songs are right in high school for me. Hold on. Eighth and Ocean, hold on. It was at the time there was a show on MTV about a modeling agency and it was the theme song and I just like was obsessed with it and now I realize there we go, Beautiful Love by Eighth and Ocean and Dark Blue by Jax Mannequin. Those two songs for me were like still I can't, if they come up on shuffle, I can't pass it.
Nice. And now I'm gonna have a new playlist to go check out a couple songs
Yeah,
because
try 'em.
with the same way that I rewatch things, I just get really hyper fixated on anything. So sometimes I tend to have like tunnel vision when it comes to music. I'm just listening to the same things over and over. So it
I
would be
resonate
nice
with
to
that.
branch out. Yeah.
Oh, I resonate with that. Like while I don't do that with other things and like rewatch things, I listen to the same songs all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's my favorite thing to do.
I love that.
You want to go ahead?
Oh God, I can't see.
Oh.
It's again blurry. Okay. If money and survival weren't a factor, what would be your dream job?
Oof, if money and honestly, it's my dream to be a mom. So I would literally be a stay-at-home mom without like the stigma of like being a trophy wife or a stay-at-home mom. Like if no one had anything to say and I didn't worry about bills and I didn't worry, like I would probably have like 8 kids and 10 dogs and live on a farm and literally be barefoot and pregnant all the time and be cooking and cleaning. And like, I really, really, really would love to just like, yeah, honestly be a mom and like never worry about my kids worrying for anything. And that's why I think like finances and money are so tightly intertwined with like how many kids I want. I know
Right.
it's not one, but you know, if it were my way, I'd have a bunch. And so yeah, I would love to just like have a simple life with a bunch of kids and a big family. And yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I think we're gonna move on to some like this or that kind of
Yeah,
questions. So, I mean, you can just answer it, you can elaborate, whatever you feel like
sure.
doing. Vacation or staycation?
Vacation for sure.
Yes. Do you want to switch off every time?
Passenger or driver?
Passenger. I'm not a passenger too much. I swear.
Yes. Big party or small gathering?
Ooh, small gathering for sure.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy. Oh my God, I don't watch scary things alone. And I love. I don't watch scary.
Singing or dancing?
Dancing for sure.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, I like won't do karaoke. Like I don't like singing in front of people. I'll sing in front of strangers, not people I know. But I'll dance for sure. Yeah.
Acoustic or electric?
Electric.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard, but yeah, go with your gut instinct. Electric.
I guess it depends on what it is.
It does. It does.
Plane ride or boat ride?
Oof, boat. I love a good boat. That's one of the things I miss most about Miami.
Yeah,
Yeah. We were just like, we need somebody with a boat.
we do.
Jeez.
That's you have to. Although it's common in Miami and like people have cars, like it's like a car payment. And so it's a little bit more common than you think. But yeah, a yacht. I need someone with a yacht.
That would be so nice.
Let's see. What's the next one? Road trip or flying?
Flying. I'm just again, either if it's a road trip, I'm probably driving, or I've like caught flats, or like I went to Joshua Tree with my girl over the summer, and like man, series of unfortunate events. We were stuck in the desert for 2 days because I got a flat, and then I had specific tires, and I had weird bolts, and like it was a whole thing. I feel like road trips just open up like
Oh no.
That would be terrifying, actually. Love or power?
Oh, love. I think love is powerful.
It
If
is.
someone loves you, like they'll do anything for you, and that's a power for sure.
That's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Gold or silver?
Gold. I rarely wear silver. Yeah.
Same.
Really?
Yep.
I've always gone for silver, but now I'm like figuring out certain skin tones like complement it. I don't know which one I'm supposed to be wearing.
Huh. I just felt like it's just like I remember the girlies were real into rose gold at a
Mhm.
point. Like the rose gold was popular, but yeah, I've always gravitated towards gold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Xbox or PlayStation?
Ooh, Xbox. I was actually a gamer. I was more Nintendo though, so I was big Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a Switch still, but yeah.
So do
Nice.
we. We
Yeah.
play it often.
Hell yeah. I love my Switch.
Yes.
One thing that I miss is Guitar Hero. I don't know why they're not still making new ones because all my
Yeah.
games are like on the old Xbox 360 and half my guitars, like one of the buttons will be out or it just won't work.
Yes.
They
I feel
need
like
to bring
it's
that
too
back.
much now. People don't even want to stand up. Like Wii Sports was a thing. Like people are not
Yeah.
getting up off the couch now to play
Yeah.
anything.
I would love some more interactive games.
Yes.
Oh God, what's the next one? Dine in or takeout?
Ooh, there's that Gemini in me. I could go either way. I think LA has so many different restaurants. Like you could go to a new restaurant. I rarely repeat restaurants. There's one or two out here that I will go to, but I do love going out and having new experiences. But Dine in, takeout. I actually really like cooking. Like one of my favorite things is to have friends over and I'll like cook.
Good.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Curly or straight?
Mm. I don't know. I mean, I say straight because my hair is naturally like flat. But I want to say curly because I love curly hair and I love like that volume, but I don't know. There's something right now about like a slick back, even bun or like straight. I love like the slick straight look.
Yeah, that's nice.
Brown eyes or blue eyes?
Oh God, any light eyes, I am a sucker, like a sucker. But I usually end up dating dark-eyed people. So
Really?
I'm attracted to light eyes, but I end up falling for dark eyes. Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I guess it's liking what you don't have because I'm always
Mhm.
drawn to dark eyes, but I feel like I've only, now that I'm thinking about it, ended up with guys with lighter eyes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah, I wonder if there's something there. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Psychologist, you have anything to add to that?
Yes.
No, I don't think I
That's a
have
weird
anything to
one.
add to that.
That's, I mean, there's
I'll
got to
have to
be
look it
something
up.
behind it for sure.
Maybe there's no resentment. I feel like I always resent people with light eyes. I'm like, you got the light fucking eyes. Like maybe if you and like someone with light eyes here, it's like even playing field, you know?
I guess sometimes, I mean, for me anyways, light eyes can be very unsettling if they're just a little too bright. Like,
They say brown people with darker eyes are perceived as more trustworthy.
really?
It's like the light eyes are so piercing.
Okay, I could see that. There's definitely some pictures I've seen of people, and I'm like, your eyes are so scary. They're so beautiful, but I'm intimidated.
Oh, I'm filled with I'm like, I just love people with light eyes, like an anomaly. I'm just like, I love it.
Big city or small town?
Ooh, that's a hard question. That's a hard question because I feel like you always want what you don't have. When I lived in Connecticut, I wanted big city. And now that I'm in big city, I'm like, I just want to park somewhere and not get a ticket. So
Yeah,
Oh
kind of
my
miss
goodness.
this.
I couldn't
Yeah,
imagine that.
it's horrible. Like it's you can't even go to like CVS for tampons. You could literally be bleeding and you're like, I gotta find parking. Like,
Yeah.
not fun.
That would be such a culture shock. For me, especially, like Savannah's a little more crowded, but Loganville is like a classic small town. Everything's got a parking lot. There's no like street parking. I would go crazy trying to deal with any type of area like that.
It's definitely a different way of life for sure.
I need to do a backstory for this one because I added this one in here. So two of my favorite places, because I haven't been to all 50 states, I'm sure this would change, are Virginia and South Carolina.
Okay.
So sorry to interrupt you, but I had to add in Virginia or South Carolina.
Oof, hard, but I was obsessed in one point in time with Nicholas Sparks books and I read them all. And I know that his books are based in the Carolinas. Um, Myrtle Beach, where is that?
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
South Carolina. I have a really good friend that lives there and I was dating a guy at one point whose family was in North Carolina and we visited. I could see myself actually moving there. I just think it's so beautiful. It's such like a cute, like calmer, I just like a good place to raise kids. Money goes further there. It's not too small like Connecticut, but I could see myself moving to one of the Carolinas. So yeah, South Carolina.
Nice. Okay.
Minimalist or maximalist?
Ooh, in terms of decorating, which I'm super into, I'm kind of a maximalist. I take up every corner, every space. But I guess minimalist doesn't apply here. I'm low maintenance. Like I'm extremely low maintenance in the sense of like I use press on nails and like I pluck my own eyebrows. My friends, at least every girl at least once has just cut my hair straight across. I'll go over their hair with my hair wet. I'm not paying money to go to a salon. I'm not dyeing it. I'm plucking out grays and I'm going over my girl's house and be like, just cut it straight. Cut it straight. I'm super low
Love that.
maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maximalist when it comes to like decorating, minimalist with like upkeep. Like I don't go shopping. I don't spend money on things like that, like at all.
I
That's
agree with
fair.
that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm the same. I'll get a trim every now and then. I don't know. I'm thinking about chopping it all off, but that's another story.
Don't do it. Your hair is beautiful.
Thank you. It just becomes a lot. It's so long. It's like, what do you do with it? I usually don't do anything. So, but yeah, like I'm not really a shopper in terms of like clothes. I like to buy knickknacks and things because my room, oh my God, it is probably like a minimalist nightmare because there's just
Yes.
knickknacks in every
There's
possible
things
spot.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
I
love it.
love that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, last one for our this or that questions. Invisibility or mind reading?
Ooh, invisibility.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to read people's minds. Like, I'm already thinking about what you're thinking. Like, I don't need to actually know. Yeah, invisibility would be cool just because I love people watching anyway. I'm also such a huge conspiracy theorist, so I'm like, I'm gonna sneak into places I shouldn't. And then yeah, probably just I'd be sneaking on flights for sure. That's
Nice.
all I care about.
Do you want to get into any of your conspiracy theories?
Girl, which one? Because there's a lot. I have this whole conspiracy theory about the Hawaii fires. I have a conspiracy theory about Hollywood and like just weird. You live out here and you're like, oh, there's something weird going on.
Really?
Um, 2 nights ago, I went to an event where it was like full blown adults doing like a real life game of Clue of like a murder mystery party. But I know a GM of a very, very famous, popular hotel out here in LA. They're just like one of the connects I made in hospitality, but they've been the GM of this iconic hotel for years. And so they tell me all the industry secrets and things that they've seen. And like Hollywood is fueled off of money and politics and sacrifices and like Illuminati shit. And like people hold these murder mystery parties and like people actually get sacrificed. Like I've seen a lot out here and I totally buy into all of it.
Right.
Um yeah, there's so many. I feel like there's so many PR relationships. I like follow all the blinds. Like I love all
Oh
of it.
yeah, I love seeing the TikToks, especially when they reveal who it's allegedly about, all the blind items.
Yes, I'm a huge blind. Yeah, I love and oftentimes they're correct. I think also too, like even the award shows. I remember we were at the VMAs and many Kids' Choice Awards, but we would like do sound or audio edits or rehearsals, and they would be like, "Okay, and now so and so is going to come up and accept their award." Like it's very nothing is real, and
Yeah,
so yeah.
I figured I mean, it's kind of jarring to realize that getting older, like you think everything is so real and so many things are scripted or pre-planned. And I tell her this all the time. I probably sound like a crazy person because I don't believe anything anymore because I just don't like there's so much going on. You have no way of knowing what's really happening behind the scenes
Yeah.
with
Oh no,
anything
I
really.
100%. Like even they say the Super Bowl was predicted, like that whole leak, and then it was the teams play. I'm like, it's just all rigged. I think money has a lot to do with things, and so I feel like the amount of money people are betting on the Super Bowl and things like that, like or these MMA fights, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be rigged in the best interest of economic benefit. So yeah, you realize that a lot out here.
Yeah. It's kind of terrifying if you think about it too much, just how like nothing's real, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm like, I really don't care if I like, pursue the industry or not. Like, someone's paying someone off for a role, like, or you have to do things for certain roles.
Right.
Just not about that.
That part, when I think about that too much, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just, the most I'll do is some background work or something. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, girl.
we get
I'm like,
into
I'm
it.
moving to Carolina right with you. Like, I'm
Right?
getting out of here.
No, I
Yeah.
think definitely. I don't know, but I think I would like to end up either in South Carolina or Virginia.
Either one. Like, I really there's like a peace and humbleness about the South that I really
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. And it's different enough that it's like you're not in Georgia anymore. Well, South Carolina is pretty similar besides like the low country area, but yeah, it's like just different enough, but it's still got that like southern peacefulness to it, I guess.
Yeah, or just people I feel like are nicer. Like it's not just so cutthroat. I don't know.
Yeah.
How far are you guys from Duluth?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you're not that far.
close. I'm gonna look it up actually because
I
I
used
want
to
to
have
say like
friends there
40
that
minutes.
yeah, we would go visit them and just like they're just so nice. Even their neighbors are nice, like just positive interactions. Like
Yeah,
um there's just like a hospitality about it that I love.
nice. Okay, so we've got two games if you're interested in
Okay.
playing. One of them we picked four separate actors, and we're gonna tell you four things that they've been in and see if you can guess who it is.
Okay, cool. I love it.
We tried to go a little obscure, but not so much so. I mean, it
Okay.
depends what you watch, I guess.
Who I probably don't know, but I'm gonna try my best.
It's okay. I don't think I would have gotten any of these if I hadn't been creating the.
Okay, cool.
Okay. The first one has been in American Psycho, The Fault in Our Stars, The Lighthouse, and Spider-Man.
Oh God. I should know The Fall in Our Stars because I saw it because Nat was in it.
Oh
Uh
yeah, I forgot about that when I was writing the clue.
he doesn't say anything and you just go see something and you're just like, oh hey. God, I don't know.
Willem Dafoe.
Damn, yes.
I don't
I
remember
wouldn't
seeing
have
him in The Fault in Our Stars.
The Fall in Our Stars threw me off, and then but I'm like, I know American Psycho, but then all I thought about was Nat in American in Fall in Our Stars.
Okay. Our next one is Her,
Okay.
Rough Night, Asteroid City, and Lucy.
Damn. Okay, so Lucy, is that I'm either thinking Scarlett Johansson or Angelina Jolie was the main character.
One of those is correct.
Yes. I'm okay, wait, and what was the other two things?
Her, Rough Night, Asteroid
Ah,
City.
her. Cool. Scarlett Johansson.
Yes, good
Nice.
Thank
job.
God.
Okay, next we have Zoolander, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Cars, and Wonder.
Oh my God, and I love him so much. And I can't
Me
think of
too.
his name right now, but he was also in Meet the Fockers.
Yep.
Ben Stiller. There we go. Is that Ben?
No, actually.
Close. His
I said it so confidently too.
Owen Wilson, his
Oh shit.
on-screen partner.
Yes. Yes. I love
That was
Owen.
my childhood crush growing up.
Yeah.
I also can resonate with that. Yes, I love him.
It's your turn.
Oh,
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 is it?
I don't
Oh
know.
no, it's not. It is my turn. Okay, last one. The Big Short, Babylon, Suicide Squad, and Bombshell.
Shit, I definitely should know this too, and I can picture the Big Short. I just can't think of his name. I'm never, yeah, I'm not gonna come up with it. But who is it?
Margot Robbie.
Oh, wait, wait. I don't know why I was going to a guy. Okay, wait. What were the three that she was in? The Big Short.
Babylon, Suicide Squad as Harley Quinn, and then Bombshell.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I love Margot Robbie. When we say like celebrity crush, honestly, she's right up there.
Yes.
She's incredible.
I love her. I think she's so talented.
She really is. That's all we have for the movies, but now we have a music one where we're
Okay.
gonna give
Oh
you
God.
three songs.
Probably
And again,
worse.
like, because I feel like my music taste can sometimes be a little niche. I think yours too. So we tried to go more broad.
Oh God. Okay. All right. I'm also niche, so
Okay. First one is Break My Soul, Run the World, and Sweet Dreams.
it Beyonce.
Yes.
Thank
Nice.
God. Okay. Break My Soul was like, I was like, it's gotta be her.
Okay, next one is Dance Dance, Sugar We're Going Down, and Thanks for the Memories.
Yeah, big Fall Out Boy girl. Like
Oh
that was my
Nice.
era. Like I still
Yes.
listen to them.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
That makes me so happy. We love Fall Out
Oh
Boy.
hell yeah.
All
Good
right,
choice.
next one is Complicated, My Happy Ending, and Girlfriend.
Yes, also big Avril Lavigne fan. We have the
Nice.
same taste in music.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. We picked some good ones, I guess.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah, really good.
All right, and the last one, you want to do it?
Yeah. I like the way you move, Roses, and Miss Jackson.
Yeah, Outcast too, man. We're right there. Yes.
Nice. That's incredible.
I love that. Yeah, those are like, God, I feel like music was better back then. Like
It
I'm still
was.
listening to to Outcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it's hard to get the same feelings from music that you could back in the day.
Yeah.
I wish I was like 21 in like the late 90s, early 2000s with like
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Ashanti and Fat Joe and like and
Yes.
Outcast, like Shake It Like a Polar Pig. Like I would just go crazy
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
a house party. Like
that would be incredible. I feel like that's also a common thing though with everyone is like, oh, I wish I was younger in this era. Like one day
no one's
our
happy.
children or grandchildren are gonna be like, I wish I was a teenager when Harry Styles was like big.
Right, right. Like if I hear Watermelon Sugar High one more time, I'm gonna kill myself.
Honestly, I'm the biggest One Direction Harry Styles fan. I don't care to ever hear that song again. I really don't. They
They like
overplayed
ruin
it.
it for them. Like we love Harry Styles, but like the
Yeah.
radio or even I was a big the weekend fan.
Yeah.
And then they just start overplaying them. It kills it.
It's
They really do.
unfortunate. That's why I try not to turn on the radio. I just stick to
I never
Spotify
do.
now.
Yep.
At all. Discover Weekly every day.
Yes.
Oh, I've never actually done mine,
Oh,
so maybe I
what?
should start
Oh,
listening to
it's
it.
some weird AI shit. It like knows what you like.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I'll
No,
do
it
that on
really
my drive
does.
home then.
On my commute, like
Yes.
every week, I would check out my Discover Weekly like Monday morning.
Yes. Or on a commute, I recommend like a comedy playlist. Or like I used to watch
Oh.
or I used to listen to like Pandora comedy and it would just play all the best jokes of like stand-up comedians. And so it makes the commute way better.
I didn't know
That's
that they had
cool.
that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
no,
check
me
that
either.
out.
Highly recommend for a commute. You just sit there and it's like the highlights of people's stand-up sets. Even like the old greats like George Carlin and yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really
Fun.
cool. All right, I'm gonna have some material for my drive home then.
Yeah, for sure. Keep you up.
Okay, well, I mean, that is all we have planned.
Hi, thank you, ladies.
I cannot thank you enough for coming on. This
This
has been
one's so good.
fun. Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry it took so long,
oh my
but
God,
I had so much
no.
fun just talking with you guys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like childhood dream fulfilled. Like,
Oh my God, no, I love it. And anytime you want to do another episode, you want to have girl talk again, like let me know. I love it.
Oh my
perfect. I was
God.
gonna
Thank
say,
you.
I mean, throw it out there if you want to be friends. I wouldn't mind.
We are friends. I have to make sure you email. So the email that you're contacting me on, I have like an influencer manager. It's Komodo. So I went and did shrooms for the first time ever in Joshua Tree. When I was going through this like crazy breakup and restraining order, my friend was like, I'm kind of like nervous when it comes to drugs. I'm a big weed smoker and that's it. And she was like, you need to do shrooms. And I was like, I'm scared, and she was like, you gotta like let shit go. So
Yep.
so we drove out to the desert and I did shrooms for the first time and it was like kind of life changing.
It is, isn't
Wow.
it?
It was incredible. But yeah, it's been I don't know where I was going with that actually. Why did I start talking about that? I
I
don't know.
mean, I'll say I've always been terrified to try them. So, but
Terrified.
maybe I'll get brave enough one day now that both of you have
Well, I
confirmed.
did them this weekend and we had a great like banter. I was like, we needed to record. We missed an opportunity then.
There we go. Honestly, like I'm very scared to again, like I care about what people think. And so I was like, oh, like I don't want to be tripping or like I don't know what to expect. And so I was outside by myself, like under the stars, like it was a very myself experience, but it was so amazing. And I'm a huge fan. Oh, the point is I have an influencer agent. He was just someone on that trip that I did shrooms with. And like it felt like we were bonded. He was like, you don't have enough followers at all, but let me represent you. And so sometimes I'll like work with Julie or like little brands that he pitches me for. But that is my like email that goes to him. I'm gonna email you my cell and then my personal email.
Okay.
Send me back your Instagram so that we can like connect and I can follow you
Yes.
guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, if we want to do this like once a month too, like whatever you guys want or help that you need with your podcast, let me know. And so I can help post and promote.
That is
Thank
so
you.
sweet.
That is
No,
incredible.
yeah, I love it.
Anytime you want to come back, we'll have you.
Girl,
Anytime.
yes. We'll do like updates or something.
Yeah. And then next time, now that we've got this out of the way, I'm not gonna be so like, I'm an interviewer. Let me be correct. And
No, no, honestly, like we probably went so over, but it was just so fun. Like it feels really natural. Like you guys are so like just easy to talk to. So no,
Thanks.
you're great interviewers and it's gonna do well.
Thank you. That means a
Thank
lot
you
to
so
me.
much. Yeah.
No, I had a blast.
Awesome. I'm glad you did.
Okay, well, I'm gonna email you all my personal stuff and then make sure we follow each other, stay connected, and then yeah, email me or send me anything, but let's stay in touch and then yeah, let's do this like soon. It's like therapy.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
We have
And
a therapist.
we'll see you whenever you come to Georgia, hopefully.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my God. Like I just let event season calm down, but I was thinking of going out around maybe like May or June. So
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
Do you
Well,
want
so
to
good
do
to meet you.
Good to meet
Do you
you
have like an
too.
outro?
Just one line, just like the beginning.
All
Yeah,
right.
I love it. Let's do it.
You've been listening to the Straight Crooked podcast.
And then we do like
Thanks.
a bye.
Yeah, you want to do the bye with us?
Yes, I do.
Ready?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.